So what's going on, athletes and farmland? Is this the NFL and the NBA guy that bought all the farmland?
Well, let's start with that. I'm going to be curious to hear what you guys talked about or what you think. And this is indeed Joe Burrow and what's his name, Dylan, the NBA star.
Mm-hmm.
They went ahead and pulled their money together. They put together, Blake Griffin. They put about $5 million together, and it was a total of 25 athletes. And they have already bought 104 acres of farmland in Iowa. Now, I don't think that the $5 million was just for that 104 acres. They pulled their money, they've got it, and this is their progression to start buying. They will probably buy more because in their mind, they see this as a stable return on investment, maybe only single digits to start, but that can certainly improve over time. And so they're very happy with this idea. Now, it says in the article 104 acres farm. They didn't buy the whole farm. They didn't buy buildings or anything down there. That's just a description of how it's used in Iowa. When you're buying a field, it might be called a farm instead of just a field. And these folks, the stars that are doing the buying, they're not really in it for the bushels. They want the return on investment on the land, and they're willing to rent back out to production farmers. So does that follow what you guys were talking about?
Yeah, it does. And we were talking about that last week, Bridget, about how renting out land is becoming a big thing now, too, in terms of we had a caller call in for that, explaining to us, that how that's a great profit now. And again, it varies each year, but do you think they're buying it specifically? Because they're not obviously going to farm it.
Right.
And price of farmland in Iowa right now is crazy high. You think they're going to turn around and make a profit on it, let's say, in 6 months? Or do you think they'll rent it out and continue to hopefully grow some more income out of that?
I think this is a long-term investment for them. They want to buy farmland as something to hold on to. And they may also be getting some that has the availability of hunting property rights on it as well, so that it's a sporting event as well as they could be using it for actual farm production. And when folks are buying this at this point, these are private sales. Last year in 2022, we saw some extremely high land prices. We saw two different sales, one in Nebraska, one in Iowa. They were in the neighborhood of $21,500, and there's another for $30,000. And so that was production farmers buying. That wasn't just someone looking for an investment, not in every case. But understand that farmland has a strong value. We're not making any more of it. Seeing that as a great return, they want to not necessarily turn on a short-term process, but they want to keep it for a while. And we even see it here in North Dakota. We see folks from New York who want to buy land because they want the ownership value of it. Maybe they take a pasture, no longer put cattle out, just turn it into their own private hunting reserve. And so there are more acres going out of production in that respect in this particular one. And even like when Bill Gates bought, that land got rented back to production farmers.
Now, Bridget, is there any chance that farm prices will go, land-wise I'm talking, that the prices would go down per acre?
It's very rare that farmland prices go backwards.
Right.
I mean, it can happen, but it's just not very often.
So it's kind of a no-brainer investment, really.
In a lot of ways. Now, remember, interest rates are on the rise. If these guys are buying it and they're paying cash, that's not their concern.
Right.
But if you are someone who would have to finance it, interest rates will certainly make a play into what you're trying to do these days. Absolutely.
So if you won the Powerball tonight, would you invest a couple million in farmland? It's probably a better return than any CD or anything like that.
Personally, I would, but it's different than just an investment for me. As a farm kid, my ties to the land are much stronger than that. I would want to buy farmland not as an investment, but I would look at going into production farming. And there's an old joke out there that says, how do you make $2 million in farming? Well, you start with 4 and you work your way down. So